Hello, everybody. This is Kirby over yonder, and I wanted to talk about the recent Netflix cartoon Big Mouth because it's been stirring up a lot of controversy recently, and I I just have a lot to say about it. Um, so Big Mouth, it's kind of one of those love it or hate it shows. A lot of people, especially at first, seem to really dislike it. Just really being against it because of it being child, um, you know, being accused of kind of being pedophilism. It just being a very shock humor like show, um, and being very offensive, having a lot of gross sexual themes, uh, and the fact that the main characters are kids, um, being tied to all these. I've seen little kids masturbate pretty much. Yeah, no, that's not great. But a lot of other people have been defending the cartoon, saying that it's very relatable. The going it's and that's like an earnest story of kids going through puberty, and stuff like that. So, in terms of where I stand on the whole Big Mouth controversy, I gotta say I agree with the people that hate it. I actually really dislike this cartoon. I watched the first three episodes. I'm only judging the first three episodes, and I watched them with a friend who also really hated it. Um, and I just felt like talking about it. So I do know that people do like this cartoon, so I will start with saying really the only somewhat decent thing I found about this cartoon. The voice acting is pretty good. It's not like really good like Gravity Falls levels of good, but the voice acting's pretty good. That being said, I hate everything else. Let's start with the characters. The two main kids, I don't really mind. I just think they're kind of bland. Not really, they don't really have much personality. Um, but they're okay. But I really do not like the rest of the characters. I don't even remember most of their names, to be honest. Um, there was the one girl, who, there's one girl who, in the pink, um, who I really hated. To me, she just seemed like I don't know. Like every time she's on screen, um, I just get such a negative vibe from her. Not in a very funny, very interesting way like Rick from Rick and Morty or Dan from Dan Versus. Just more of a man. I really don't want to see this character again. Type of just hatred. And she's always like yelling at everyone, making sarcastic jokes that aren't funny, and yeah, I just really didn't like her. There's also the other girl. I'm sorry, I don't remember most of their names. By the way, I would have if I did. Oh my god, I can't talk. If I redid my top five worst cartoon females, now, she would definitely would be on that list. And there's also the black girl. Sorry, that sounds racist because apparently announcing the fact that she's black is racist. But there's the black girl. Uh, I really okay. If I say I hate her, people are gonna be like, "Oh my gosh, you hate her because she's black." No, that's not true. That's not true. Um, I hate her because like all of her jokes are about how she over explains stuff that no one cares about, and the show acknowledges that it isn't funny, and I just don't get it. Like, it's not funny, so why are you hammering this joke into our heads? And I think her voice is really annoying too. Do not like her voice. There's also the cool kid who It's just your stereotypical cool kid. Not really anything interesting or unique about him. Just kind of, hey, look, he's cool, he's a jerk. Um, which, like, there's there's nothing really to his character. Um, he's just kind of a jerk and cool, I guess. And then there's the other kid who, I'm sorry, I do not remember these names. Oh, I think the girl in the pink's name is Jessica, something like that. I don't know. But there's also the other kid who, I don't even have anything. I think he's gay. In the third episode, they said he was gay. Yeah, the gay kid. No, I don't hate him because he's gay. Um, I hate him because he's so obnoxious. He's like every time he's on screen, he's like, "Oh, look at me, I'm so cool and stuff." And just like every other gay cartoon character to ever exist, he talks like a girl because apparently, being gay isn't just like a sexuality, something that you are. It's your personality trait. His personality is that he's gay and he's obnoxious and he gets in everyone's face, and it's just not funny to me. I find him really obnoxious, and again, not in a clever, funny way, just in a oh great, this character is on screen sort of way. Um, and So that's all the characters. Again, I do not like these characters. They're not very fleshed out or interesting. I mean, again, I only saw the first three episodes, but I I should at least like or at least tolerate the characters, even if it's only the first three episodes. I mean, for example, the first three episodes of Gravity Falls. All the characters, they're not as interesting or as fleshed out as they are in season two, but they're still fun characters, really interesting to be around. Just they're still just great characters. Um, and with Big Mouth, they're just all stereotypes that I've seen before, and I've seen done much better before. Um, so not good, not good characters in my opinion. The um, the comedy, I think the comedy is really bad. Most of it, well, it's an adult cartoon, so obviously there's gonna be a lot of shock humor and sex jokes and crap like that. I don't think I ever laughed while watching it. I think the friend I was watching it laughed a couple times, but he didn't laugh much either. Um, I like the problem with most of the jokes is that um, a lot of them are just like characters over explaining something gross in really long, dragged out detail, and it just feels like filler to me because it's not funny, and I'm pretty sure the writers know it's not funny, but they're just dragging them on over and over, and it's really annoying to me. And of course, there's the shock humor, and yes, they do actually show these little kids' genitalia, um, which like it's not even like it's necessary for them to show the genitals. They just do it for the sake of doing it because it's on Netflix and it won't get censored. What the frick? Censored. Yeah, and but the main problem I have with this show is its view on puberty as a whole. Now, I thought my puberty was like fine. Um I didn't see it as like, oh, this is the best time of my life, or like, oh, this is terrible, or anything. It was just something that happened and it's over. Um but Big Mouth, they see puberty as like this really awful thing that like every boy just does things, just gets sexual pleasure out of everything. The main character masturbated to a cat clock. I'm not kidding. And the girls, oh, they're just so mad all the time because they have periods. Um, which I don't like that it's saying that. I kind of wish, I think it would be a lot better as if they were, saying, hey, puberty kind of sucks, but, there's also these good things about puberty, kind of, having the good and the bad, but it's just, an overwhelming amount of bad things, um, which really didn't sit right with me. Uh, I think what made the more pessimistic humor work in shows like Dan versus and Rick and Morty is that it's only the main characters of each shows that are being pessimistic. The other characters are like, oh no, that's um not everything is terrible. Um so there was kind of that balance. Plus, um, it's just that Dan versus and Rick and Morty did it a lot funnier than Big Mouth did. They they have more of a focus on just like seeing how angry the main character can get, um, and like to the point where you're thinking, oh man, this character, he's being a real jerk because of something he's angry about. Um, it's it's not really supposed to be relatable like Big Mouth. I guess you could argue Dan versus is relatable in some ways. Like, obviously everyone gets pissed off, but like Dan versus takes it to very extreme levels, which makes it very funny. Where Big Mouth is pessimistic, but it doesn't do anything with its pessimism. It just says, "Oh, puberty sucks," and doesn't do anything with it, which I think is the biggest fault to the show. Um, really, it's so pessimistic for no reason, and I feel like if it had a more optimistic vibe to it, or at least like not as pessimistic, um, it the show would be better. It still wouldn't be perfect. It would have other flaws, but it would be a lot better than it's oh, puberty sucks. And what else do I have to say? Oh, the animation. All of the characters look like Pepe. Like they do. They really do. Um, the character designs look really bad. Um, like their foreheads are really huge and their eyes are so big and creepy looking. It just looks really bad. The the thing that like there are other shows I like with not so great animation. Dan versus American Dad, Golan the Insatiable, but what makes the average animation work in those shows is one, it's not like really bad like Big Mouth, not really creepy, just kind of on the more bland side. And two, those shows have good they have good like dialogue based jokes and good humor and stories and everything to help make the mediocre animation more tolerable and less noticeable. But Big Mouth, and of course it's subjective and all, but Big Mouth has really bad writing and bad comedy, bad pretty much everything besides the voice acting. Um, so there's nothing to really distract me from how awful the animation looks. Um, and I don't think I have much else to say. Um, if you do like this cartoon, then that's great. I'm glad you can get enjoyment out of it. In fact, I'd like to hear why you like it in the comments. And yeah, that's all I really have to say. Kirby out. Also, shoutouts to Nostalgia Boy. He makes really good reviews of movies and TV shows, and I think he's pretty underrated. There's gonna be a link to his channel in the description. Kirby, out.